Hi, and welcome back. I am the occasional extrovert. My name is Claire, and I wanted to film another video for you today. So, this video is all about why I started Couch to 5K during my pregnancy. So, right now I'm about 25 weeks pregnant. I think that's what the app said. I don't know, due dates and things. My pregnancy brain makes it a little bit hard for me to remember. I'm also enjoying this. I think you say it this drink. Yeah, it has a little bit of caffeine in it, but honestly, I just like the way it tastes, and sometimes I just need a little energy. So right now, I've been using the Couch to 5K app from Zen Labs. I know there's tons of Couch to 5K apps out there. I use this one because it was free, and I liked that it gave me little reminders, and I can set different things on there. Like, I think I can sign up for a paid membership and get music, but I like that I can listen to podcasts, and the reminders will pause the podcast, giving me the reminder, and then I can listen to the podcast again. So that's why I've been using that app, and I have an Android phone, so that's why I think it's important to distinguish if you're using an iPhone. Let's see. So Couch to 5K app. I like to listen to Google Podcasts a lot. I've been really getting into this podcast called The History Chicks, I think, and sometimes they cover fictional characters, but they cover a lot of historical characters, people, women, and they do it in a very interesting way, and so I appreciate that. And their podcasts are pretty long, so I can use it for multiple exercise sessions. So I am in week 6 right now of Couch to 5K, and I believe day 2, which means that I'll have to do intervals the next time that I am out there running or jogging. And I found it really enjoyable. And I started doing this because I downloaded the app several years ago, and I would start, and then I would make it through week 1, and then I would stop, and then I was just sort of not really committed. And this time around, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm starting off with a little more weight than I did when I had baby number 1. This is baby number 2 who's cooking in here. And so I was hoping for an easier recovery and to make sure my fitness level was high enough so that once I delivered, I would be able to wait the break that they recommend and then get right back into working out. Plus, with the pandemic, working out has been amazing for my mental health. Because it's something I can do for myself. It doesn't take a lot of time. The Couch to 5K app, most of their workouts are no longer than 35 minutes. So you can complete them inside on a treadmill. You can do them outside because the weather has been very nice, like unseasonably warm here. I live near Seattle. I've been doing a lot of outside exercising, which is great. This morning I actually did inside on a treadmill, and I was pleasantly surprised, but I've been enjoying it. So some tips that I've had, or that I like to share with you about Couch to 5K is, first off, I want to say I never engaged in land sports. It wasn't my thing. I tried tennis for like a day, gave it up. I was a swimmer in high school. I did year-round swimming for years before that, but then I just sort of halted, just didn't really exercise that much. I would be a sporadic exerciser. Now I'm in my 30s and it's a little bit harder now, and especially with kid life, family life, all sorts of stuff like that. So I decided now is a good time. So not a land sport person, but I always was really interested in jogging because it seemed like a pretty how do I phrase it? It just seemed like it was something that I didn't have to have a lot of investment in terms of, equipment. I could just get out and start, or I could do, be inside. And so then it was just something that I could sort of pick up at any time. You know, if you do swimming, if you do other things like that, you have to find a pool and things that are available, and so that can be a little bit more challenging. So I decided to do this. And another tip. I started using, okay, so people are going to laugh. I started using affirmations before I even started the program. So I started telling myself, I'm a runner. I love to run. I love exercising. I love to sweat. Things like that. Because I know myself. And if I tell myself, oh gosh, like this is the longest minute of my life when I'm running, that'll be the only time I go out there. So I did that, and I told myself if I could commit to at least a month of Couch to 5K, then I could get myself some new running shoes and maybe some new workout gear, like, you know, outfit, and then I could go out and run. But only if I kept up with it. So it was kind of a motivation for myself. So let me see, tip number 1. Oh, affirmations, right. Oh, sorry, pregnancy brain. And then another tip that I have for you is to know that the workouts do not get easier. It is your mindset that gets easier, which sounds completely crazy, right? But so now in week 6, I am facing a run or a jog of 25 minutes straight without any walking, which is not super easy, right? If you've never really, in 6 weeks, it's not easy to do that. But what I have noticed is starting around week 3 or week 4, I stuck with it. I was diligent, at least 3 days a week. I tried to do the exercises or the routines exactly the way that they had laid it out. Is that I started just really enjoying it and just wanting to go. And so I would make myself take a day off, and I just couldn't wait to go back out there and to try again just to see my improvement. And one thing that has helped is my Fitbit. So I got this Fitbit Charge. I think I bought it on Amazon, honestly. And I sync it with my phone, and so I like to see my progress that way. It doesn't really keep track of the distance because I don't think I'm going fast enough for it to register that it's a run necessarily. But as I get more serious about it, in the sense like I'm doing longer intervals or longer training sessions, I will download an app like Runkeeper or something so that I can see that too. Right now, I'm not worried about, this goes into the next tip. I'm not worried about how far I'm going or how fast I'm going. So that's tip number 3, is knowing that, at least for me, it's just about getting out there and just doing it every day, because, or not every day, but every exercise day, which is every other day right now. And the reason why that's so important is because even on my worst time, you know, even when I feel the most frustrated, it's better than me not going out there at all, you know. And we're talking about the days where I can't even think about getting into gear. Just putting on my running shoes is too much for me, you know. And I've had more of those days than like, let's do it. So the most interesting thing about jogging that I found, or running, is that my motivation doesn't really affect my performance. So I can get out there and just be like, yeah, I'm ready to go, and I'm out of breath in like 2 seconds. Or I can say, oh, I just can't get my shoes on, and then it's great. So I never know how it's going to be, but I always feel amazing when I'm done. What's that, 3? Tip number 4 is what to do after I have exercised. Is I try to take an Epsom salt bath. Now, a lot of people might say that doesn't really help. I like it. I like baths. I don't make them super hot because, you know, there's 1,000,001 reasons. If you Google pregnancy and baths, people have advice for all sorts of things or what not to do. But I like a bath, and I put quite a few Epsom salts in there. Yeah. And then I soak in there for a few minutes, usually at least like 10 minutes, and then I'm good to go. And that just, for me, it helps with muscle soreness, because I'm not a stretcher. I'm not good at it. I've never been amazing at static stretching. It's it's not my core competency. So I don't really do it. so I do Epsom salt baths instead. Tip number 5, you don't need a lot of gear. I think I said that already. To get started, I did invest in some running shoes. I am only brand loyal in that one respect, and that is Brooks. I love the Brooks line. I'd had a pair of Brooks shoes before. I use the Brooks Ghost. I think I'm on 14, and before I had 13. So shoes. Workout gear, I'm not really worried about. Who's judging the pregnant lady out on the trail going? I do have a running belt, and so I had to get a bigger one once I started expanding, and that's just so that I can keep my phone, my keys, my ID, things like that I don't want falling out of my pockets. I stick them right in there. I don't have a water belt, where you attach water bottles, but I also am not out there for such a long period of time. Once I increase my distance, I might do that. Armbands don't really work. I have little tiny chicken arms, so they just slide right off, and it just really bothers me. So I don't even mess with armbands. So let's see, shoes, outfit, running belts, my Fitbit. That was a big investment, but that was just, I needed that for motivation. And let me think, is there anything else that I use? Oh, I have wireless earbuds, and so I know it's kind of it's a personal preference for people. I like the wireless earbuds because they stay in there, and then they also have a feature where I can turn it on and I can hear some outside noise too. And I only jog with one in because then I like to know my surroundings, so I can still hear my podcast, but I can also hear if someone's saying like on your right, or something. So I don't get run over by people on the trail. And I tried running with the headphones, with the little cord, and it's just, it gets like stuck in my hair, even though my hair is pulled back, and then my arm gets caught in it, and then I spend my whole time wondering, is it going to keep popping out of my ears? So that's not a thing that I love. I do that. Have a hairband, 99 cents at the drugstore. Oh, and insoles. Okay, so insoles are a key one for me because I bought these Dr. Scholl's running insoles, and I think I bought them at Target for $15 or something. And I took out the old the insoles that came with my running shoe, and then I popped in those Dr. Scholl's, and it has made such a difference. I haven't felt beginnings of shin splints or anything like that. It's just enough cushion, I think, to help me. And then if I don't need it later, I'll just transition out of that. So there's that as well. So insoles. So there's not a lot of equipment. I guess I would say if you're going to spend the majority of what you're going to spend is probably on your shoes. And you've probably heard that on lots of different channels, which is invest in a good pair of shoes. You don't have to go to a running store if you don't want to. Just Google best running shoes for beginners, things like that. Find something in your price range that will give you the support you need, because there's nothing worse than going out there and trying to get your fitness level higher and then just like having the, deck stacked against you before you start. So set yourself up for success. I haven't really changed a lot of my diet. We eat mainly plant-based in my house, but we also eat pizza and things like that. I drink quite a bit of water. I enjoy my cup of coffee. And yeah, I haven't gained a ton of weight this pregnancy like I did with my first child. I don't even want to speculate about how much I gained because we had midwifery care. I may have mentioned this in another video. So they didn't make me weigh myself, but yeah, it was more than I anticipated. So this go around, I'm not concerned about calories necessarily, but just about how I feel. And so I've noticed that this baby's just as active, and I have not gained as much this time around. And since I am under OB care this time, they're very weight conscious. They're not preachy or pushy or anything, but they do tell you how much weight you've gained since your last visit and stuff like that. Oh, another question that I get a lot is, what does your doctor say about, exercising or jogging while you're pregnant? So I didn't ask them. So that's my short story, my short answer to that. I just feel like there's some things they need to know, and I just didn't need more opinions about that because I enjoy it and I'm sticking with it and I'm motivated. So there is that. Everyone has to do what they need to do. And if you need to ask your healthcare provider, you go ahead. But I found a lot of success just in these past 6 weeks. My mental health has been a lot better. My physical health has been a lot better. I noticed that my stamina when I'm exercising has increased a lot. Like when I started Couch to 5K, I was only able to run for 60 seconds and then took a 90-second break. That was how they set up the intervals. And this morning, even though I didn't track it through the program, I was able to run on the treadmill for 25 minutes straight. And so even though it was a slower pace, it was still amazing, given that the longest I'd run with the program was 20 minutes. So I felt pretty proud of myself. And so, yeah, it's just a really fun transformation change. And let me think. Sorry, I was starting to say something and then my brain wandered off. Oh, outside versus treadmill. Which is easier or which is more challenging? I actually got this question from a friend when I was telling them I was jogging. There are pluses and minuses to both. So one thing is that when you're on a treadmill, you don't have to worry about weather, right? You're inside. But you do have to worry about noise. So I'm in the office downstairs. The baby's room is right up above it. So I have to make sure that when he's napping, I have the white noise on so he can't really hear me, but it's still kind of loud. Also, the treadmill controls your pace, and so you don't have to worry about accidentally slowing down. One downside that I noticed is that since it keeps track of your time and your calories, I had to try really hard not to look at that because I get sucked in. Also, I had my phone up there and I was watching this video, and all of a sudden the phone slid out of the holder, ricocheted down off the treadmill and behind me. So for 20 minutes I was staring at the wall when I was jogging because I didn't want to break my pace to then pick up the phone. So I was just staring at the wall. That doesn't happen outside because I'm listening. I should have just done a podcast. But outside, it's a little bit more challenging in some ways because you don't have that constant pace, but you have inconsistent weather, but you can feel the wind on your face, the sun on your face, the cloud cover. It's just different. The airflow is different. I prefer being outside as long as the weather is really nice, but I'm just happy to be exercising at all. So I'll check back in with you all. Sorry this video is so long, but so I just want to say, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so remember, 25 weeks pregnant, I am asthmatic, I have patella tendonitis in both knees from sports that I did when I was younger, I have swimmer's shoulders. I mean, pretty much have a lot of reasons why I shouldn't be able to do things like this, but mainly I just tell myself, I'm doing this, I enjoy this, it's good for me. So if I can do this, you can do this, and just let me know how you're doing, in your fitness, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.